Hi everyone and welcome to this week's EBC. We are in the state of Washington. We're just north of Seattle, just a little south of Washington University at the Washington Park Arboretum. It is a fantastic, gorgeous day and it's perfect for the message that we've got this week. We're in John 12 verses 20 through 33. And these verses start in sort of an odd place. It says, some Greeks wanted to see Jesus. And they tell the disciples, and the disciples go to Jesus to say, hey, there's some Greeks that want to see you. And that's the last we hear about the Greeks. Instead, Jesus answers them that if you have a seed and it falls to the ground and doesn't do anything, then no trees happen. But if the seed falls and dies, the tree grows out of that seed. The wheat grows out of that seed. Jesus is using that example. And it seems at the first that it has nothing to do with the fact that the Greeks wanted to see him. But Jesus goes on to say that whoever loves their life will lose it, and whoever hates their life will actually save it. And it's about the fact that it isn't whether there's a Greek or whether it's a Roman, whether it's one of his disciples, whether it's a Samaritan. Jesus is there for everyone. And now, we're in this Arboretum, and what does that have to do with what we've been talking about? Man, this is the perfect spot, because what you don't know, but we've been seeing all through this Arboretum, is that there is a gathering of trees all across the Pacific connection that happens right here in this Arboretum. They have trees from China. They have trees from South America, Chile. They've got some, this is a New Zealand area here. And all of those things are brought together. All of those seeds drop to the ground. All of those seeds have to die in order for this fantastic Arboretum to occur. Right? And so then the story goes on from there. And Jesus is talking about the fact that he knows that his heart is troubled. He knows what's about to come. That his falling to the ground as a seed, dying and growing back up is going to save all of us, right? So then he says, what should I do? Should I pray to God to save me from this hour? No, he says, because that's his purpose. That's what he's been brought to do, is to die and be raised again, right? And so we know that just as that seed falls to the ground in order to make that wheat, in order to make that tree in this instance, there's a purpose for Jesus and there's a purpose for us. And at the end of these verses, there's this wonderful phrase about Jesus being lifted up. And there's some purposeful ambiguity there. Actually, in the translation, other parts of the Bible, it tells you that there's some deliberate ambiguity in that. That in being lifted up, one thing that Jesus is meant to do is to be lifted onto that cross. And then to be lifted up, Jesus is meant to be resurrected. And to be lifted up, Jesus is meant to ascend into heaven. And it's a reminder to us that even when we're thinking about what's our purpose and what should we be doing, well, there's steps in that purpose. You're not in that moment where you're just like, there, that was the one thing and I've done it, it's over. There's a process that God is asking us to be on, to be in a moment here, and then in the next moment there, and the next moment there. This week, guys, just go out and find one of those moments. Have a great week.